Have you ever noticed how easy it is to assume we'll have later? Later, we'll apologize properly. Later, we'll say what we really feel. Later, we'll make time for the people who matter. Later, we'll stop putting off the things that quietly call to us. But life has a way of turning later into never, without warning and without drama. And this isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to free you. Because there's a kind of peace that comes when you stop saving your best words, your best gestures, and your best courage for some imaginary future. The truth most people learn too late. When people come close to the end of life, many feel a strong need to put things right. They want to clear their conscience. They want to confess old mistakes. They want to be forgiven. They want everything to feel clean and settled. And sometimes that happens. But there's another truth we don't talk about as often. Late honesty can still leave a wound. Some confessions don't land as relief. They land as shock. Some revelations don't heal. They open fresh pain. And the people left behind are the ones who carry it. So if we're serious about living well, we can't treat our last days like an emotional cleanup operation. We need to live in a way that reduces the need for that cleanup in the first place. Not perfectly, just more honestly, more kindly, more awake. A short story, the phone call that didn't happen. A man I'll call Daniel had an argument with his sister over something small, a message that sounded cold, a misunderstanding that grew teeth. He told himself, "I'll call her when I've calmed down." Days passed, then weeks. Life got busy. Pride sat quietly in the corner like a piece of furniture. One evening, he was driving home and thought, "I'll call her tomorrow, properly, when I have time." The next morning, he got the news. She'd had a sudden medical emergency. Now, this story isn't here to make you anxious. It's here to point at something simple and practical. The call you keep postponing is rarely just a call. It's a door. And doors don't stay open forever. Don't create or keep enemies. If you take only one message from this, let it be this. Do not make or keep enemies if you can avoid it. Not because you're weak. Not because you're pretending nothing happened. But because hatred and resentment are expensive. They take your sleep, your appetite, your attention, your joy. They quietly tax your whole life. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reunion. Sometimes it simply means you refuse to carry poison in your own body. If there's a misunderstanding, you can undo it. If there's a conversation you've been delaying, start it gently. And if the other person is not safe, not willing, or not kind, you can still choose a form of forgiveness that sets you free. A quiet release, a prayer if you pray, a decision if you don't. Some people believe God helps us do this. Some people don't. But most people, whatever they believe, recognize this. Peace is built in small choices, not in grand speeches at the end. Don't leave your unfinished love to be interpreted. There's a particular sadness in leaving this world having said, "They should have known how I felt." Because love that is never expressed becomes a burden for someone else to interpret. People try, of course. They read old messages. They replay memories. They hold on to a look you gave them 10 years ago and wonder if it meant more than it seemed. But imagine offering them something clearer while you still can. A sentence, a hug, a letter, a simple, "I'm proud of you," or "I'm sorry," or "Thank you for staying." You don't need perfect words. You need present words, a gentle thought about what we take with us. Across many religions, and even in the minds of people who don't follow any religion, there's a shared idea. The material part of life is not what lasts. Some believe in life after death, some don't. But nearly everyone agrees on this. Your money, your titles, your stuff. They don't hold you when you're afraid. They don't comfort your loved ones when you're gone. What tends to remain is simpler. The way you made people feel, the repair you attempted, the kindness you offered when it cost you something, the love you finally stopped hiding. If you want to give someone a gift, give it now. Not later, when the timing is perfect. Not later, when you feel more confident. Not later, when life is calmer. Now, while it can still land in their hands. Another short story, The Coat in the Cupboard. There was a woman, I'll call her Margaret, who kept a beautiful coat in her wardrobe with the tag still on it. It was for a special occasion. Years passed. The occasion never arrived. Or rather, life gave her occasions every week, but she didn't see them as worthy. One day, she donated the coat. Someone else wore it. Someone else felt warm. Someone else felt seen. Later, she said, half laughing, half sad, "I spent years saving it for a life that never turned up." That moment is not about a coat. It's about a mindset. Don't postpone your own life. Put your affairs in order. As an act of kindness, there's a practical side to peace that people often avoid because it feels uncomfortable. Paperwork, decisions, clarity, a will, a list of important details, a simple plan for what you'd want. Not because you're expecting the worst, because you love the people who would otherwise be left guessing. Grief is heavy enough, without confusion. So if you've been meaning to organize things, see it as an act of care. Quiet, grown-up care. The kind that says, "If you ever have to carry something for me, I won't make it harder than it needs to be." Repair what you can. Personally, if there's something you've done that needs repair, don't outsource it to time or to other people. Time doesn't apologize. Time doesn't hug. Time doesn't say, "I see what I did." You don't have to reopen every old chapter, but if there's one person you need to speak to, start there. And if direct contact isn't possible, there are still ways to repair. You can write a letter you don't send to tell the truth. You can make amends through changed behavior. You can do an act of good that reflects the lesson you learned. In the teachings of Jesus, for those who draw strength from them, there's a quiet emphasis on reconciliation, mercy, and the courage to become new. Not as a performance, but as a daily practice. And even if you don't connect with religion, the principle still holds. Character is what you do when nobody is clapping. Do the good you keep postponing. So many people say, "One day, when I retire, I'll volunteer. One day, when I have more time, I'll help. One day, when the children are older, I'll serve." But one day is not a day of the week. If you want to do good in your community, start smaller than you think you should. 1 hour a month, one neighbor you check in on, one cause you support consistently. Goodness grows by practice, not by intention alone. Learn what you can, because it stays with you. If you've been wanting to learn something, a language, an instrument, painting, sewing, anything that makes you feel more alive, begin. Not because you need to become impressive, but because learning enlarges you. And whatever you believe happens after death, learning has a strange way of becoming part of who you are. It's not stuff. It's a kind of inner baggage that doesn't clutter your shelves. It strengthens your mind and steadies your heart. Travel, but don't worship the camera. And yes, take your trip. Take the walk. Go somewhere new with someone you love. Take photos if you like. But don't let the camera replace your presence. Phones fail. Files corrupt. People miss the moment while trying to capture it. But the heart records differently. The heart keeps the warmth of a hand held tightly. The heart remembers the laugh that surprised you. The heart remembers being safe with someone. So if you do take pictures, take them with your heart first. The real preparation. In the end, preparing for life's final chapter isn't only about documents or last wishes. It's about living in a way that reduces fear. When you've said what mattered, you don't panic as much. When you've forgiven what you could, you sleep more easily. When you've served in small ways, you feel less empty. When you've loved openly, you don't need to send messages that should have been spoken out loud. And perhaps that is the most compassionate way to live, so that if life ends suddenly or slowly, you can meet it with less regret. Not because you did everything, but because you did the important things, the human things, in time. So, just for a moment, think about it. Who are you postponing? What are you saving for later? And what is one small thing you could do today, not tomorrow, that would bring you a little more peace? So, as we reach the end of our reflection today, let's choose to step into the light. The most beautiful legacy isn't found in grand monuments or distant achievements, but in the quiet warmth of a hand held tight, an apology offered with sincerity, and a heart that refused to stay closed. You don't need to change your entire life at once. You only need to change this one moment. If this message brought a sense of calm or a spark of hope to your day, we invite you to join our family here at Moments of Peace. By subscribing and hitting the notification bell, you ensure that these gentle reminders always find their way to you, exactly when you need them most. We would be truly honored to hear from you in the comments below. Is there a small act of kindness, a dream, or a word of love that you've decided not to postpone today? Your story might be the very comfort someone else is searching for right now. Please, share this video with those you hold dear. Let's spread this ripple of peace together. Thank you for spending these precious minutes with us. Take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, and remember, it is never too late to begin again. Walk in peace.